Hey everybody, welcome back to Jordan Lee Tarot. So I have two decks for today. We have the Midnight Magic deck and we have the Sacred Journey Oracle deck. So I just wanted to explain, I always try to have one of each. The tarot is all of the major and minor arcana cards in a 78 card deck. And then an oracle deck can be really any amount of cards, but they're typically about 44 of them. And they are clarifiers. They give more specifics, a more detailed look at something that has to do with maybe more specific things such as career, love, health, things of that nature. So understand that each deck has its own flair, has its own special meaning, and even the tarot decks have their own themes. So this one is the Midnight Magic deck, and it has a definition of the cards, but also of a specific mushroom. So I think that's really neat. One more thing I do want to say before I get into the reading, I do apologize. If there are any type of healers or extra information that would have value for you, for me to share, please comment on this video and let me know. You know, I could really use a good soul regression therapist, or I could use a good, um, my mind just went blank. There's like 2 or 3 different healers, like a Reiki practitioner. There's a lot of great Reiki channels on YouTube that I can share as well. But I'm just curious, tarot is one medium to share information, and typically it brings up other things that need to be dealt with. So I want to give you support on the other side of what might come from revelations from a tarot reading. And that might be a reading that I give you, or it might be another reading. I just think that it's really good to give more resources, because I know legally we can only do this for entertainment purposes, but I understand that these messages can be wonderfully healing, and it's best used with support from another modality. It really is. So understand that for me, tarot is a very healing, very specific way to start into a deeper process, or sometimes just clarify something that you needed to know, because those intuition checks are really, really important. I've had 2 readings very recently where people knew exactly what I was going to say, and the cards completely supported that. But that's what they needed. They needed confirmation. They didn't need new information. They didn't need a revelation. They just needed confirmation that they were correct. So take this reading as it resonates for you, and thank you for being here. All right, so we're going to tap into source energy, and we're going to pull some tarot first, and we're going to get the energy that most needs to express itself right now. Okay, clarify judgment, clarify the 6 of swords, whoa, and clarify the 9 of wands. Okay, I got a whole lot of cards right away. And then we're going to get these clarifiers from the oracle deck. So understand that I also use a multitude of decks differently, and it doesn't always express the exact same way. But understand, as I look at this, each tarot deck has its own message and own expression of that message. So I like to pair different of the decks together and get different layers of messages. So none of my readings will ever be the same, because the decks are going to layer in the information differently. All right, enough of my jibber jabbering. Oh, okay. So for the oracle cards, we have, these cards are so terribly hard to pick up. The aura card, let me back that up a little bit, and then the past lives card. Again, there is something here about color that I do tend to notice. This card, the past and the future being black and white brought into color, and the aura card being just so beautifully vibrant. That feels connected. The colors feel connected. Okay, so we have 9 of wands that came out first. 6 of swords that came out second. Judgment that came out third. I did grab clarifiers for each. And I do want to read some of these messages, especially with these mushroom decks, because there's always a secondary message that likes to come out. The 9 of Wands. Okay, so poison, fire, coral. That sounds dangerous. Okay. Courage, sacrifice, persistence. Stand your ground. There is strength building through your sacrifice. Stay persistent, but don't miss any beneficial opportunities because of your stoicism. Your defenses are mighty and commendable. Okay. So this is a poisonous mushroom, and yet it's very fragile. So this is talking about probably a lot of trauma, if I'm being honest, that led you to have your defenses up. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. That was just you doing what you needed to in that moment, in that time in your life to survive. Sometimes it is just about surviving, and that is okay. We don't want to stay there forever, but you have to admit there are times in your life where you're like, I am satisfied to just survive to the next day. And that is okay. We've all been there. We will probably all be there again. That is the ups and downs of life. So the 6 of Swords card. All right. Allow yourself to deliberately space away from persistent conflict. To guarantee productivity, explore new environments. The initial sadness of moving away from the familiar is replaced with the satisfaction of achieving mental clarity. So this could be a route. Sometimes my mouth and my brain don't, work together. Okay. This feels like someone who's actually moving away from a person or situation that put them in the 9 of Wands energy to begin with. This could be something as extreme as a full-on abusive relationship, or this could be something that is still important, but just on a different level. This could be someone who makes you feel defensive. I don't know if anyone here has ever been in a relationship for which the person was not bad. They weren't a bad person. They weren't necessarily abusive, but they brought out a defensefulness within you because you couldn't soften. You didn't feel safe for whatever reason. And it wasn't a physically obvious reason. It was more of a, I just don't quite feel safe with you. I don't know why. And so I always kind of clench around you. That, that's the gamut here. To someone who maybe is leaving an abusive situation that is outrightly beating them, right? That's the sweep that we're talking about here. So take this as it resonates and understand that if you've been in the more extreme versions of this, I just want to say I'm really, really sorry. I think all of it is bad. Physical, mental abuse, it's all just so hideous. And as we move through and to something better, the Judgment card here is definitely a card of release. And I think that there is that understanding that healing is necessary after that pain. You have to do a purge, or you're not going to fully remove yourself from your past trauma. Your brain has to realize it, your body has to realize it, the cells in your body have to realize it. There's so many layers to the healing that have to happen. So that Judgment card is talking about acting on exciting opportunities to embrace a new mindset. Do not slide back into your shell if you can help it. Trust your judgment, wait and be patient. The fruits of your labor will appear when the time is right. So this feels like maybe getting back into the dating world after healing from a traumatic relationship. And there is this understanding that you are all the better, all the wiser for being here, and to even commend you for healing. so that you're ready for another relationship. You're ready to go back into the thing that put you, you know, in a very dark place, right? That in and of itself is a miracle, to learn how to heal yourself all the way around, to be ready for love again, truly ready for love again. Okay. I'm feeling like there's a repetition here with the past lives. There's the energy of we've been here before. So this could be someone who has healed themselves after multiple abusive relationships. Time and time again, you gain your color back, meaning you balance your chakras, you are in that content alignment with source, with your body, everything. So, whoever this is, this collective has healed themselves not just once, but many, many times. And I'm just here to commend you and say, you're amazing. Keep doing what you're doing and teach other people around you that resilience of heart, of soul. That's a beautiful message. So, I wanted to clarify the Nine of Wands card, and it came up with the Seven of Cups card. I think this is talking about that time in your life when you were defensive, that you were, excuse me, possibly over idealizing what you had, and then maybe not knowing what to do next. So there's some indecisiveness with this card, that maybe you didn't know what to do or when to make a move or when to leave or how to leave safely. Um, but there is this process. I think this reading is talking about the process of, excuse me, my nose is going bananas. It's so itchy. I'm sorry. The process of healing, like of realizing that a relationship is not healthy and moving through. Um, the Six of Swords was clarified by the Nine of Swords. So the Nine of Swords is kind of like that anxiety, up at night, really stressed, really worried for no reason, because the Nine of Swords card is a mental energy. So this is coupled with the Six of Swords. This is an energy of things are getting better, things are getting better, things are getting better, right? Because I've removed myself from the pain of this tragedy, whatever it was, this trauma. The Nine of Swords is kind of that backslide into, oh my God, it's going to happen again, or oh my God, I'm reliving that within my body. And so this reading talking about the importance of the full cleanse, the full release. The Hierophant card and the Wheel of Fortune with that judgment. I think this is talking about don't judge yourself too harshly here, okay? With these cards of the Hierophant is each time around I learn, I know more, I grow more, I gain more insight. I know what to look for. I know how to step over those landmines that much faster. There's wisdom that is building here through a very traditional process of trial and error. This is not easy. This is not, this feels like someone who's been learning things the hard way, the long way, the difficult way, the most painful way. And the Wheel of Fortune is really talking about, we can heal this and move forward and change the fate of our life. I mean, there are people that are stuck in abusive relationships for 20 years and then they get out of it and they do release that self judgment. They learn, they grow, and they realize, oh my gosh, things will not be this way forever, right? I'm not going to be in that abusive relationship forever. I'm not going to be in the healing process of the aftermath of that forever. I'm actually going to be on the other side of this, where I get to go on a first date with somebody who's very sweet to me, and I get that butterflies in my stomach feeling of, oh my gosh, this could be the one. And maybe they are, maybe they aren't, but it's that you're ready, that you've done the full process to heal and be ready to be in partnership. Now, are we ever done healing? Absolutely not. That is a constant process, but there are times when we get to be done for a while. Uh, this isn't life as a constant healing process that we're actively healing. It just means we go through bouts of things and times where we need to heal, and bouts and times where we get to live life and we get to just like actually live the plot of the story that we're writing. This is really beautiful. I want to clarify this and see if there's any specifics. This feels like a general story that a lot of people can probably tap into, but I just want to see if there's any specifics. Okay. Not getting anything specific from that. Okay. So I got the journaling and the speak your truth card. This could be something like creating or writing a book about your experiences. But there's something about sharing your experiences with other people. Speak your truth. This actually feels like the aftermath. This feels like don't be afraid to share what happened to you. I know that you're going to be worried that people are going to think ill of you for sharing about your abuse or your trauma. But Spirit is really leading me to encourage you to speak this out, because the journaling card that came out with it feels like just like writing it down, express it, but then speak it. So this feels like the process of writing a book to me. First you're writing it down, then you're speaking it out, then you're publicly talking about the book, then you're promoting it. Da, 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 da. So this feels, maybe this is a message for somebody who's writing a book about overcoming obstacles of abuse in relationship and what that looked like for them, how they got their color back and came into a balanced alignment of self. That's really beautiful. If anyone out there has this storyline, please comment. I would love to hear this. I would love to support you. I would love to share your book. Let's see here. Self-empowerment, the Emperor card. So this is a beautiful card of embracing, when I say not self-control, but embracing control in your life. I don't even want to say taking your power back. This card is more like realizing that I am the power. I am the everything. And I can create and make this what I need it to be. I can protect myself now. I know what to look for. I know how to read signs of trauma and abuse in other people, which is terrible that we have to do that. But that is very much a situation that a lot of women and men have gone through. So I want to clarify. This reading is for anyone, male or female, however you identify, that has been through trauma, that has learned the process, the alchemical process of healing, moving through to judgment, to releasing of shame, releasing of anger towards that other person, because that is wonderfully empowering. And I find that people who've gone through abuse are like the most empathetic people, who typically know a lot about psychology and abnormal psychology and DSM-5 diagnoses. And we wonder why we go down this rabbit hole. It's because we're trying to understand the abusers. This is why it happens. Okay. And it's a terrible process that we have to go through, but we come out the other side knowing so much. And so I want to encourage people in the comment section to share their, not the details of their experience if they don't want to, but just share their moment of triumph with those of us who maybe are still in the process of coming to the healing. But I think that everyone's on a different part of this journey. And so if you're in that part of your journey where you can support another person, please use the comment section to support, to help. I am just simply a mouthpiece. This is a community that we're all building, and I'm here to bring people together that can help heal, because we are all healers in our own right. And my message can just be the beginning of something larger. So understand the comment section is open for you to share things, to offer just insights for people, because there are things in my story that don't match anyone else's. And there's something in your story that someone else in the comment section might need. So this is a beautiful message. I think it's calling for support, for community, for the people who have been in these positions, because it is not fun. So I think we're going to wrap up here with the with the Death card and the Eight of Cups. This is the end of a cycle of abuse. I'm going to go ahead and say that, because this message definitely feels like it's about someone who has been through some stuff, some shizzle nizzle stuff. But the Death card came out with the Eight of Cups right underneath it. And this is really walking into the unknown after an ending. Okay, great. I escaped the horrifying, terrible situation. I got away from the narcissist, right? I got away from the abusive parent or family member or boss. But now I'm walking into the unknown and I have no idea where I'm going. And I'm really nervous and scared. But understand that it's always a cycle, it's always a loop back around, because we're all on the fool's journey and we all come back around again and again. And we're going deeper into these layers as we repeat the cycle. It's not like, oh, just a dead repeating of the cycle with no growth. No, each time you go around, you gain more insight and you go differently around the circle the next time. But you're still going to go around the circle. It's just going to look different this time. So the Eight of Cups kind of feels like you're hanging off on a cliff, you're walking into the unknown, but it's looping you back around to a new beginning, right? So you're walking into a new beginning, but you don't know what that new beginning is going to be. And so this is calling for discernment, healing, proper integration of healing. And that's why I'm going to bring it back to the original request, that if you want to know of other healers who can help you with anything that comes through in these readings, please, please comment down below and tell me. Because if you feel like having some, referrals for a soul regressionist would help you process something within this, then please let me know. I do have a lot of people in the healing fields that I know, and I just want to offer valuable, pertinent information for people, because tarot is only one step of this. I'm an advocate first and foremost for healing. So I'm here for each and every one of you that come across my videos. I want to be like this big sister who, has been through a lot of shizzle myself and is going to offer you as much love and care as I humanly possibly can, but not from a way that makes me better. I'm on this journey with everyone. And I want to just share my love and appreciation for you being here. I hope this message has value. And until next time, have a beautiful day or night.